Hello everybody, what's happening? My name's Neil, welcome along to Midlife Motors. This morning I'm going to discuss really quickly outdoor car covers again. I did a video before, I'll stick the link up here somewhere, where I discussed the whys and the wherefores of them. However, this is just a little bit of experience I've had with Classic Editions, the people that I bought the cover from. And it might help you if you're thinking of going down the route and show you that, you know, you're not left alone. People do actually care about you and your car. So I've had an S3 side ultimate outdoor car cover from Classic Editions on my MX-5 for over a year now. It's survived a pretty harsh Scottish winter and it's worked great. It's worked really well. Now we saw on the last video, the one hiccup I had, it was a bit long at the back. Now, Classic Editions have seen the video, which is great. They got in touch. They said, would I like to try the next size down? I thought, why not? Got nothing to lose. It's arrived this week, so we're going to go outside and we're going to try compare the two. I'm going to put this one back on because I'm not junking this yet. This one fitted really well at the front, really well around the roof, and as I said before, it covered the wheels, which I liked as well because that protected the brakes. So I haven't made up my mind. We'll then try this one, and whichever we'd like to keep, they're going to collect the other, which is great customer service, really, isn't it? You can't say fairer than that. I have washed the car this morning. I know I keep saying it and I'll say it again. Grit. The car's been thoroughly washed. The cover's nice and clean. You don't want any grit on your car, on your cover when you're taking them on and off. Don't worry too much about swirl marks. Don't worry too much about buffing of paint. Those days with good covers, good waxes, good car paints, those days are kind of behind us now. But a bit of grit will still scratch the paint. So let's get to it. Let's get out there. Let's get to it. Just unbagged the S3 cover. Basically, it's sitting soft side on the car at the moment, ready to pull out. There is a front and a back on these. There's a little label on the front which tells you which way around the covers go. Quite helpful. I do it mirrors in on the car. Take the aerial away as well, and then just extend it out. We'll try and remember how it looks. There we go, front. As before, just trying to do a little bit at a time, don't rush it. So the S3 cover, as we remembered before, it fits the car quite nicely. When it's all clipped up, the 1, 2, 3 clips, it really does tie it together nice and tight. But looking at it, yeah, you can see why it's maybe a little bit baggy. You can see that it doesn't quite fit 100%. So we've got this on camera now. Going to roll this back up and try the next size down. There we go. Now we can just keep rolling it in on itself, and the good side is just touching the good side. Don't worry too much about the bag. There's plenty of room in it, so you don't have to squash it down too flat. The bag's probably a bit too big, which is good. It makes life easier. Car looks shiny. So you can do it by yourself. I think an extra pair of hands would probably help, but you can do it by yourself. Just take your time. Time for cover number 2. Just open the box. That's what comes out. Does feel a little bit smaller. There'll be some clips in here. There we go. There's also, you get a chain as well with them so that you can padlock the cover. I don't have to worry about it here, fortunately. Brand spanking new. got to find the front and the back. Once you've found the front and the back, just take your time unraveling it. See what it looks like. So I've got this laid out now, ready to stretch it in place. When you do unpackage it at first, there are a few little bits of cotton. I think they're part of the manufacturing process that might come off on the car. They're very soft, they won't do any damage, they won't do any harm, don't worry. The last cover was the same. You haven't got a faulty cover. You just blow them off the car and everything's fine, so don't panic if you see those. Going to stretch it out now. Got the little tag at the front there pointing us in the right direction. Let's see how it looks. This one's starting to look like it maybe fits a little bit better. Right, first impressions, I'm going to leave it just to settle for an hour or so. I might even clip it up. Oh, it's warm. First impressions though, the S2 cover does fit better. So if you've got a Mark IV MX5, you might want to go with one of these. So there we go. I've left the car for about an hour or so just to try and let the cover settle. I've clipped it up and I think it's fitting snugger, definitely fitting snugger. The one thing that I'm pleased about, the wheels, they're still both nicely covered. All four, it's got four wheels obviously. Still nicely covered, which is again is going to look after the brakes. And what I had noticed with the last cover, because it was a little bit bigger, in the scuttle panel area, sometimes the water would sit and you'd have to lift it just to let it run off. This one seems to flow down nicer from the roof line, so I don't think I'm going to get any problems with water ponding at all. And the great news is the back fits perfectly. I'm going to try and I'll have to stop it now, move the camera around the back, and we can see the back fits absolutely spot on. I'm happy about that. So around the back here, you can see it's fitting nice and snug. Yeah, really pleased with that, much better than it was before. One thing I noticed with the last cover, with use, with a few rain showers, with a bit of frost, it does sort of form a bit better to the car. I don't know if it got a bit of memory to it or something like that. So this is probably it in its worst condition. So you might find a few areas where you think, it could be a bit tighter, but it does kind of mold to the shape, if you like. I think we're keeping the S2 cover. If this has been helpful, if you could like it, if you could share it, great. And if you could subscribe below, try and give you a few more tips along the way. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the sunshine. After all that, I'm going to take the cover back off and go for a drive. Woo-hoo.